This video is going to be amazing and I guarantee you're going to get so much value out of it. Today I have on my channel NFT Nate, who is an amazing YouTuber who has been killing it recently, and his analysis of NFTs and the whole market and his mindset towards NFTs is just perfect, and I'm sure all of you guys can benefit tremendously from him. So without further ado, let's jump into the interview with Nate. All right, Nate, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come here onto my channel. First off, if you guys don't know who Nate is, you are truly missing out, because honestly, you're one of the most NFT channels that I watch, because your analysis is just non-biased. It's just great. It's just non-biased. You're not overhyping and providing hopium to people that, okay, this is going to go to 100x or 1000x or whatever. That's why I truly love your channel. I think all of you guys should check it out, and we'll plug this later on. But for now, welcome, dude. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
So today I wanted to talk about how the market is looking, right? Because personally, I'm starting to become a bit fearful when it comes to NFTs, because everyone else is being greedy. And I just think that's the way it should be. Whenever everyone's greedy, you should be fearful. And part of it goes to the fact that the crypto market is picking up again. For example, Bitcoin is starting to recover, Ethereum as well. So typically from what I see is, or from what's known so far, is that as Ethereum and Bitcoin and the crypto space pumps, NFT values go down. So I am curious to see what's your point on it, because it might be different. Like, for example, how does this affect the blue chip projects? How does this affect the, let's say, the quick flips that people are doing? So I just want to hear what your thoughts are on this.
So I'm definitely feeling it at this point in time. I think on sort of over the weekend, I started to feel a little bit like that was coming to a head, like as in we could be touching onto it. And over the past day or so, I'm really starting to kind of go, okay, we're at this kind of precipice where Ethereum and Ethereum crypto can pump, and we actually like, okay, that's a signal we're going bear market. But then also it could be a day or so, and then next thing you know, Ethereum hits a sort of a resistance and then bang, gets knocked back down, and then we kind of go bull market back on. The way that I'm thinking about this space right now is I'm being cautious, because I've seen this before and I know what can happen, and it's like, it's silly to then just jump into a projects and assume that they're going to mint out, run up, and you're going to be able to kind of either make profits or be holding something that is worth more than you minted it for. Because I've seen this before, and I'm starting to get these sort of hints, and everyone that I talk to that's in the space, that's been in this space before, they've also got these feelings as well. So there's some new people that are in the space that are thinking that they can just mint sort of bear hat deluxe cats and it's going to mint out and it's going to go great. But they don't realize that when you get into like a bear market, like even the best projects take a while to sell out. Like things just don't sell out. And where it gets crazy is everyone's like struggling to get on the whitelist. Everyone's like whitelist. But what happens in bear market is you're actually the bag holder on the whitelist, because they then sell out 10 or 20%. They've just made a quick $500,000. You're the whitelist holder. They don't sell out the rest of the collection. It's almost best to be in the public sale when you get into the bear market, because the whitelist are almost like the people that get taken advantage of. So my current feeling right now is like, yeah, we're at this stage where it's very close to it, and I'm actually starting to kind of look at some of my positions, and I'm willing to take some slight losses on positions, knowing that these are going to bleed out over time and just almost consolidate. What I think will happen when it comes down to blue chips is they might not necessarily go up, but they'll kind of retain their value. And even if they don't retain their value, kind of ETH to ETH value, the overall kind of thing is like they might drop 10%, but everything will drop 50, 60%.
Right.
But then when the volume picks up, they're going to be in a better position, because they're still going to be much further ahead than everything else. Everything else will dip below mint. Like, look, if you could pick up a Bored Ape for 25% off the price now, that's a bargain, that's a steal.
Yeah.
People would kind of think that that's bad, but it's like, look, that's a good, because you know where it can go, you know it's strong, you know like how it's going to run up. So that's what will happen if there is a dip with blue chips. It's not going to be a huge dip, it's just going to be a slight little bit, which is a good position to get in, because then when we do kind of flip around and it goes, okay, we're back into bull run, that'll then pump up and run up. And that's what I've seen before, and that's what I'm kind of feeling right now.
No, great point about the when you have a pre-sale, you feel like you have the upper hand, but in the bear market, it's different. I had very similar experience 3 days ago in a project that I minted in pre-sale, didn't sell out in public, and the price dropped to below pre-sale price. So you're absolutely right. And the reason why I minted, I went all into this because I thought, okay, everything is pumping, everything that I'm minting is going up in value. But then when you see signs like that, you're like, oh, maybe I should dial that down just to see where ETH is going, because truth be told, no one can tell whether ETH is going to go back to 4K right now or next month, or if it's going to drop back down to 2,500. The only way we could do it is de-risk, as you said. So especially for the new ones here, because I think I have new people into NFTs that are watching my channel and yours. So the people who are new here, maybe don't be super optimistic as we were a month ago, because we were literally minting free mints, and next thing you know, it went up to half an ETH. Like, you're creating money literally from nothing, which is crazy. So which brings me on to my next point is, what do you suggest? Obviously, none of this is financial advice. What would you call a NFT bear market? So how would you identify it? Obviously, these are the signs that we just talked about. These are signs that show us that we might be in a bear market. But what is this tipping point which tell you, okay, that's it, I'm out for now, I'm going to be parking in ETH until further notice? Or you just don't, you just slightly take some profits off the table and just hold on to blue chips and maybe have some more liquidity to buy more blue chips on the way? Because honestly, this is something I want to know for myself, because I'm lost in what I should do in this situation. And I won't take it as financial advice, no worries.
So the way that I kind of see when you know you're in a bear market is when you do start seeing projects that look like they should be minting out, don't ever mint out completely. And what this means is a project that has 50 or 60,000 followers on Twitter, they have 50 or 60,000 people in their Discord, they've got an 8K supply, and they kind of get to around the 6,000, 7,000 mark and they're stalling and the team's really pushing. At that point, I go, okay, that's one red flag.
Right.
Once you see 3 or 4 of these, you go, okay, now this might not be it, because look, there can be one project that just has some FUD and it just doesn't sell out and go well. But if you see this sort of 3 or 4 days in a row, then it's like, okay, I would be sort of almost moving out of my sort of riskier positions. And that means like it takes a little bit of sort of ego sort of suppression. I think that'd be the word, to like take some losses on projects.
Oh, yeah,
so
for sure.
just so you buy something at 0.2, to sell it at 0.15 or 0.1, like take that loss, because you selling at 0.1 is better than it running down to below mint. Because what happens in like when the bull market comes in, if you haven't been through this before, if a project has stayed above its mint, when you get into bull market, people go, that's a good project, it's above mint,
right,
that's good. If a project ever dips below mint, people rarely buy in below mint because they go, that project is dead. That's almost like the line in the sand. And if it ever gets close to below mint, it's rarely ever going to come back because it's almost seen as dead.
Right.
Like, look, some people, like, I'm sure there were people in the comments going, yeah, but what about crypto bug party animals? Like, they did it. And it's like, no, bro, but like overall, anything that I've ever held that's ever gone below mint never makes it back above it. It never does.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. And it does take swallowing your ego, because personally, I had this mindset, I'm riding this either to the moon or to zero. That's it. Like, which is terrible, because it's completely illogical, because if you take some losses, this gives you an opportunity to have more liquid in order to jump into other projects and maybe make back these losses or just break even or whatever. So here's the thing, as we said, this should show us that when the market is pumping, that's the time to start exiting. Even though, so it's okay if you mint something for half an ETH and sell it for 3 ETH and then it runs to 7 ETH. It stings, I get it, but it's okay. it's not, because no one's going to catch the top. I sold many projects earlier. I'm sure you did, and everyone watching probably did, and they will if they haven't already. And I was reading on something that's called, someone put a tweet about infinite guilt in the space. Have you heard of it? It's just infinite guilt, no matter what you do. So whether you mint something and it goes to the moon, you're gonna feel guilt if you sell out too early. Whether you mint something and it goes to shit, you're gonna feel guilt. Whether you mint something and you just sell it or you just don't hold it, it's gonna be guilt no matter what. So how do you cope with this? Personally, I have some methods such as a hard workout or some meditation, but I'm curious to see how you would go through these, because believe it or not, these are serious issues that can cause problems down the line, because technically we're like gambling 24/7. It's the truth, whether we like it or not. So how would you go with this?
The way that I like to approach this is I don't punish myself for mistakes that I have made and have done. And I just know that I need to have the losses to make the wins better. When you're playing something like Grand Theft Auto, if you turn on all the cheats and you can kind of get the tanks and you're invincible, it's not fun because you're not really winning. You've just there is no fun. You need to beat a level, you need to not win. You need to try hard. Then when you beat it, you feel accomplished. So I know that I need to take the rug pulls. I need to take I didn't sell at the 1 ETH profit and I only sold at the 0.2. I need those so that when I do hit the sort of 3 or 4 ETH kind of profit flip, I'm like, oh man, that feels good because I know what it feels like to be on the edge and lose that, because then it makes the winning feel better. And I think this just comes from life experience. I feel like when you're 18, 19, 20, you feel like you need to win everything. You can't lose because you're like, I need to win. I need to prove to my friends, my family, everyone that I'm good at NFTs. I need to prove that this is it. I don't want to go work at Target. I just want to I want to make this work. I really want to make this work.
Right now.
And then they want, and they want to hide all their losses to go, hey, I'm winning. Whereas me, it's almost the other way. I would rather you see all of these losses, because the only time when you actually count the scorecard up is when the game's over, and the game's not over until I'm dead. So until we get to that point, it's like, I've still got time to run. And this kind of echoes people like Gary Vee, and what they say is like, when youngsters listen to Gary Vee, they don't understand that when you get to your 30s, when you're in 20s, you feel like 30 is old. I feel, because I'm like 32 now, I'm feeling like I'm just starting to hit a full sprint. No matter what I do, everything just clicks, everything works, like everything just goes. And at that point, you feel good. I don't care what Steve-O from like year sort of grade 8 says or thinks now, because I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, who is he? What's he doing? I don't mix with him. I don't care. The only people that I care about are the friends and family that I've got with me now, and they don't care what I do. They just go, oh, you're just doing like JPEGs and magic internet money. That's fine. We don't care. We still go out. We go have beers. We go have dinner. They don't care what I do. I don't really care what they do. We value each other's friendship, which means that I'm not playing to impress them. And I'm sure as hell not playing to impress the people on the internet. I'm just playing against myself.
Exactly.
So this is a game against myself, which means that I need to have the losses, which makes the wins hit even harder.
Exactly.
So it's not an easy kind of, here's one simple trick to kind of get over feeling guilty or kind of not feeling good about selling. It's just, you need to lean into it and embrace it, because doing that, you'll then come out of it feeling like you have won. Because like, I'm sure that everyone out here has played a game of some sort, be it in real life or video games or something, and they've worked hard, they've worked for days just at this one level, at this one thing. And when they get it, that feeling is like, hell yeah, that's great. You're just on top of the moon. If you get it first go, you're like, well, it wasn't that hard. It doesn't feel rewarding.
Yep.
So I almost want it to be hard, so then it feels good. So when you get into that zone and you're running, you feel like you're just on top of the world, and you haven't feel like you've been it hasn't been handed to you on a silver platter.
Exactly. That was perfect. I didn't expect this answer, honestly. So it's just the whole mindset behind it. You have to embrace the losses, because without the losses, the wins don't really matter, or they're not as rewarding. And plus, you need the losses to be able to learn from your mistakes, because obviously if you don't lose, you don't learn. So basically, you never lose. You just learn, and you should be failing forward instead of kicking yourself because you sold too early and just dwelling, because everyone's going to face this, as we said, no matter what. Just so we don't make this very long, any last piece of advice you would give? Because, like, as you said, there are many youngsters in this space, so I'm sure none of them have this mindset, and all of them want to get rich yesterday, like very quickly, because, well, I mean, who doesn't, right? So any piece of advice you have to these people, especially in the NFT space, on something you really learned that's very valuable that they won't find on YouTube? Because also, let's face it, most other YouTubers in the NFT space are very young as well, probably not even 20 years old or whatever. What do you say to those people?
The thing that I would say is that right now, as long as you're learning and being in this space, you're going to win. This NFTs right now feels like Bitcoin 2013, 2014. Right now, if you talk about NFTs to anyone in crypto, they think you're a freak. They think you're a weirdo. They think you're in one giant Ponzi scheme. Back in 2013, 2014 Bitcoin, people thought, oh, that Bitcoin thing, that's a Ponzi scheme. That's a scam. That's exactly how things are. If you go onto someone like Reddit, or you go onto like just anywhere and you go, I'm into NFTs, you get absolutely shat on.
Yep.
But if you take that mentality back, everyone wished they got into Bitcoin 2013, 2014. Everyone would kill to go back and load up then. And I'm not saying that every project you invest in now is going to be good, but if you kind of invest some time and energy and research, and you kind of go pick up these blue chips and you align with the people that are making good moves, you might just get what would be the kind of Bitcoin in 2013 for $1,000, and you're going to have that now in the next sort of 5-10 years. So that's what I would say, is that it, like, us older people have seen these patterns, and that's why I went all in on NFTs, because I'm like, I can see this, I can see where it's going. But younger people, they don't understand what it was like back then. And when you realize that that pattern's repeating, you then know that you're early. You don't need to win yesterday. You just need to kind of win a little bit now, because it'll make a big difference in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So it has to be a 5-10 year horizon. Otherwise, it's just pure speculation, which is another perfect answer. Well, thank you so much, Nate. I really appreciate it. This was truly perfect. Honestly, it probably helped me more than it's going to help the viewers, but it's going to help everyone as well. Thank you for taking the time. Guys, I'm going to link Nate's YouTube and Twitter in the description. Make sure you give him a follow and subscribe. He has amazing content. He posts very frequently. I think I would say probably even daily, as I can recall. So keep that up, man. Again, thank you so much for coming, and hopefully we could do this once more later on.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Peace. So that was the end of the interview with Nate, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. To me, honestly, as I said, I really benefited from this, and I hope you guys can also benefit from it, because what he said is really priceless, and it takes a lot of time for someone to develop that mindset and to learn all things that he said. So I'm going to link his socials in the description, his YouTube, his Twitter, and all that good stuff. Make sure you check him out, subscribe to his channel. He's posting very frequently, and I do get a lot of value from his videos, and I'm sure you will as well. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.